Okay, this is my unboxing video for this circa late 70s vintage Roland MC-8 sequencer. I just got this on eBay, and I've already opened the outer box here. Part's boring, but let's see what's inside. Survive pretty well. That's the, boy, this thing's huge. This is the interface. Set that over there. Very nice. And looks like we have a big honkin' manual written, no doubt, in very poorly translated English from the Japanese original, I'm sure. Oh boy, can't wait to dig into this. Yikes. Okay. And I've got a set of sheets for charting out your song. And boy, more manuals. Let's see. Sample music and data. And another, is this the same thing? Looks like 2 copies of the instructions. Yeah. Alright, good enough. And cables and stuff. Wow, there's the main unit. This thing is about 1.5 times as big as I expected it to be. It's really huge. And I hope I can find room for it. Alright, good enough for now. Okay, I just got this thing, the Roland MC-8. There's that thing. Got it hooked up to my Pro 1. And I figured out the basics of how to program this thing, so I'm just going to do a real quick demo here. So we just powered it on. There's nothing in the memory. First thing you got to do is set the time base. So time base, and you can set it to anything you want. A good basic time base is 32 though. So 32, then enter, and then you got to set the tempo. For some reason you got to hit the time base button again, then the tempo button, then your tempo. So let's go with 130. Then you got to set the address, which is basically tell it where you are in your composition. So you do that with the measure set button, and since we're starting something new, we're just starting at 0 here. Okay. Now, you program your data in 3 separate passes, basically. You've got your CV, your step time, and your gate time. So we're going to go with CV first, which is your control voltages, which come out of here. And first thing you do when you hit CV is you got to tell it, I want CV1 assigned to gate 1. So you do that by hitting 1 and 1. And now you're ready to program your control voltages. And there's a whole chart with references to what numbers correspond to what pitches, but right now I'm not going to do anything musical. I'm just going to do a quick chromatic scale. So you do that by punching in numbers. So we'll start with 0. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and then on your very last pitch, or the last pitch of your measure, you have to hit this measure end key. Okay. So now the next thing is we want to go back to the beginning, so we hit the measure set again, and we go and we hit 0. So now we're back at the beginning. We're going to do our step time now, and this tells you basically what the rhythm of those notes that I just played are going to be. So step time, and then you got to tell it gate 1. Okay, so we're on gate 1. So now at a time base of 32, I'm going to do this in 30-second notes. So at time base 32, 4 equals a 30-second note. So we'll hit 4. And since I just want to play the same rhythmic value for each note here, I'm not doing anything complicated. You can just keep hitting enter and step through all the different steps. And then make sure you hit measure end at the end of it. Okay. Now we're going to do the gate time, so we go to measure set again. We reset ourselves back to 0. And then we hit the gate time button. And this basically tells you how long each note is. Not the rhythmic value, but the actual length of the note. So gate time, and we're going to, again, that tells it gate channel 1 is what we're working on, because this thing plays back over 8 separate channels. So since I've only got one synth hooked up to it right now, we're just dealing with CV1 gate 1. Okay, so since I want these notes to be detached, if I put these gate times in at 4 for each note, that would make it legato. But I want to do them detached, so I'm going to program gate times of 3 for each note. So we hit 3, and then we just keep hitting enter, and that will give a gate time of 3 for each note, and then measure end at 12. Okay, then back to measure set, 0, and now we can play what we've got. Oh, and it's on cycle mode right now, which I've noticed when it cycles back, there's a ever so slight pause, so it doesn't really cycle that smoothly. I'm kind of disappointed in that, because I thought cycle mode would be a good thing to have, but we're going to turn that off for now. So, and you can vary the tempo a little bit with this. And there you have it. Oh, and you can do set this portamento on as well. And that's it for basic programming. This thing is pretty primitive, but I could see how with a lot of patience you could work up a pretty great little arrangement with this thing.